Hello everyone, I am crooked, but it's okay. I wanted to start a new weekly vlog because I just finished 30 Love by Tom Vellner a couple minutes ago, and it's the last day of June, so I do need to start my book of the month book, which I have yet to unbox actually, which is kind of wild. I haven't posted in a minute, which I definitely want to this week, which I need to edit my video for. It's just been really hectic. I haven't really had the time to edit anything, even though I have been working on some vlogs. So I thought I would do a weekly one. I had to change my battery, but ease back into things. So the book that I'm going to be starting today is Summer's Never Over by Darby Bozeman, which I believe is a debut. I think this might be my third debut in a row, so I hope it's good because I'm starting to feel a little slumpy. This one, I believe, is like a thriller. 5 years ago, Greer Olson left her family's summer camp in the secluded mountains of Georgia after an idyllic season had turned into a nightmare. Her summer ended with a friend and a fellow counselor dying, and she vowed she would never return. When Greer's mother dies, she finds herself back at Dread's Cove, surrounded by the people she was closest to during that summer, including Margot, who was Steph's best friend, the counselor who died. Margot never thought that Steph's death was an accident, so they're looking into that. Ooh, okay. We're gonna be reading this at least. I have a bunch of library books out right now, so I do need to get to those, but I also have 5 packages to unbox from like Dutton and stuff that I have also just left unattended. Starting the vlog off with an unboxing. It's been kind of stressful because I'm thinking about moving. We have to re-sign the lease soon, which I won't be, but I think maybe a month-to-month situation to get out of the summer cycle would be a better idea. Also because during the time that I would have to pack up and move, I would have my bachelorette, my wedding to still plan for, and then the wedding, and then on top of like unboxing and like unpacking everything, I feel like would be intensely stressful. The first book is Names Have Been Changed by Yume Balasingham Chao. Wait, I literally saw this on someone's feed the other day and I was like, wait, that sounds so interesting. Because I forgot I requested this. Wow. I think this one is out already. It says Catch Me If You Can meets Counterfeit in this thrilling debut novel about Ophir, who starts a confessional podcast about her years on the run around the globe. Wait, that sounds so fun. This one is a little bit smaller. Literally thinking about having to move has already been just so much. It's obviously going to be really expensive, so I'm not looking forward to it. This is, ooh, I do not like this roughness. With Friends Like You by Amy Chozick. Emily is a new mother in Manhattan. She's exhausted, broke, and slipping away from her well-meaning husband. She begins to fixate on finding her college roommate Daisy, who vanished years ago. Oh, this one's so small. The Solo Honeymoon by Laura Murphy. A brief, beautiful, true love story. Ooh, this is a memoir. Wait, what? A young woman goes solo on her honeymoon to Europe after her fiance's sudden death weeks before their wedding, which I think is really horrifying as someone who's getting married this year, and also as someone who has like gone through grief. I think that this would be a really like heart-wrenching memoir. Wait, this is so cute. I love this photo. I think it would be really iconic if this is something that she took. This one seems kind of small also. These have literally just been piling up in my room. Okay, we have Last Time for Everything by Evan S. Porter, author of Dad Camp, which I have not heard of. Oh my god, a book by a man. What? This is an early copy. It's coming out July 21st. 1 surprise pregnancy and 2 ambitious bucket lists. Arthur and Ren have been together for 10 years. They have a surprise pregnancy, but Ren is desperate for one final adventure before the baby comes. As the due date gets closer and the items on their list dwindle, Arthur and Ren find more questions than answers. Do they have what it takes to be parents? This would also be interesting because after marriage, I feel like the next typical step is having a baby. One of my friends is actually due in a couple weeks also, and she's only a little bit older than me, but like kind of knowing about that stage and my friend's not really being quite ready yet, I think this would be kind of like funny to look ahead. I don't see many books like this also. And the last package is actually the biggest one. This is, ooh, The Parisian Heist by Jo Piazza. She just had a book released, I'm pretty sure earlier this year, that Dutton also sent to me, and I enjoyed that one about like infiltrating trad wives. This one is out July 14th. Emma came to Paris to be an artist, and now she's scrubbing the floors of the city's elite. And when she's hired by Stella Swanson, the widow of a legendary, notoriously ruthless art dealer, Emma is suddenly swept into this inner circle with billionaires and oligarchs. More than a century, I think there's like a different timeline maybe. More than a century earlier, Jo Van Gogh inherits hundreds of her brother-in-law Vincent's unsold canvases. She becomes consumed by Vincent's legacy and a love affair. That sounds really dramatic. It looks pretty long. Thank you to Dutton for sending me all of these books. Hopefully I could get to the newer advanced copy ones soon. And also this one. I am still working on my dedicated like memoir vlog, so maybe I could throw this one in here because I think this would be really sweet. A sad time also. Anyway, I am going to be starting today with Summer's Never Over. New York is on a extreme heat watch right now, so it kind of sucks in the city. It's July 4th weekend. Not sure if we're going to go to the beach. I don't think we will. And I'm still reading Summer's Never Over. Like, so much for this being a weekly vlog because I actually have not been reading that much. I would like to finish this maybe by tomorrow because I'm definitely like over the 50% mark of it. Right now, I don't know how to feel about this book. One of the counselors died at the camp 5 summers ago, and now that her mother has passed away, Greer now owns this camp and is back there for the funeral just to wrap things up. And it seems like someone has come to the funeral to haunt them and to kind of blame them about the counselor Steph's death, who Greer was really close friends with. And Margot has come back, and she was Steph's best friend. Margot and Greer didn't really end things on a good note, and now they're seeing each other for the first time in 5 years, and there's like this really weird tension. Margot never thought that Steph's death was an accident, so she is now working as a journalist and is there to kind of uncover all of these secrets during that summer. This is going back and forth in time between the past, that summer, and the present. I'm not really sure what to expect. I'm not really connected to any of the characters. Greer has her own weird like connection to Steph in a way where she was like idolizing her in a way and just really liked how Steph made her feel seen. She's just that kind of like bright, bubbly person that really like radiates so much light and shines that onto everybody. And Margot is like obviously this really cranky, angry person, which I feel like I kind of might relate to more, but I'm not really sure what the mystery could be. We're learning more things about Greer's mom's past. She was the director of this camp, but otherwise not a lot of thoughts going through my head. I feel like I said I've been really reading way too many debuts, and maybe just that is it. I do want to take another book with me. I'm going to Long Island for the weekend, and I think might take this. Okay, good. This is not a debut. So this is a female romance that I can't wait to read, especially because it's with Asian characters, which I don't feel like I see a lot of gay Asian character books. But I think I'm going to take this because it's a paperback, and it's also due at the library soon. Story of My Damn Life. I finished Summer's Never Over on Friday night. I'm really happy with the amount that I read for a Friday evening, but I'm giving it 2.75 stars. I feel like it was interesting to me to read about a summer camp that's so different than mine. I feel the kids have a lot more freedom and the counselors are definitely a lot older, but the mystery aspect of it was not really doing much for me, and it all kind of felt not quite obvious, but not intriguing enough for me to care. Although I did finish it. This is a debut though, and I feel like it could be kind of promising. There was a twist at the end that I felt was kind of unnecessary or just like really creepy and not very telling. I feel like they could have dropped a little bit more Easter eggs within the story to show that something sinister was going on. I mean, I really felt for the characters, this whole dynamic friendship between Steph and Margot, and then there was Steph and our main character Greer, and then Margot and Greer as being the survivors, right? So I think that dynamic was definitely really creepy to me because Margot just had this really strong bond with Steph and wanted to avenge her friend. It all just like wasn't really clicking with me, so unfortunately 2.75 stars, but this book's done. And then I didn't get to talk at all yesterday, but I fucking finished the entirety of Love and Focus by Lyla Lee, and I didn't vlog at all. I also don't even remember the last time I finished a book in a day, so that felt really good because I feel like I've been a little bit slumpy with all of these like 3-star books. I'm giving this one like 3.5 stars, which I feel like is an improvement. This one is following Gemma Cho and Celeste Min. They used to date in college. For Gemma, Celeste was her very first sapphic romance. She is the reason why she realized that she was bi. One day during college, Celeste completely left and ghosted her. Gemma was very upset, blocked her on all socials, and then dated this new guy. And where we pick up in the story, in the first couple pages, Gemma has been dumped by her boyfriend of 7 years. Actually, her fiance. Also at that point, they were engaged. She's at work. She has this huge opportunity. There is a freelance photographer coming to work at her magazine, and who is it but Celeste? They're trying to navigate how to work together, but also all of these feelings of not having seen each other in about 8 years is coming up. They're like around my age, so I thought that was really relatable, of Gemma feeling like really stuck in the middle because a lot of her friends are either single by choice or just having children, getting engaged, getting married, and we're all in that stage, even though the year of the horse is truly like wreaking havoc on a lot of relationships for my friends. Anyway, this I thought was very realistic, and the romance between them was great. I feel like the kind of weird tension I could have used a lot more, especially since this is a second chance romance. I wish there was a little bit more of that. Because it was so readable and I was able to finish it in a day, I think that did a pretty decent job. This was also my first book by Lyla Lee, and also the first book about like sapphic book, or even just gay LGBTQ overall with Asian characters or East Asian characters. I thought that was really fun. In the book, Gemma works for a magazine and she's getting her like the possibility of her first ever cover story, and the issue or the story that she is covering is called Modern Love and Focus, and they are showing different generations of couples, what love means to them, taking a look at their relationships as part of the Valentine's Day issue. And I thought that was really nice, really sweet, and it really brought out the best in how Gemma works and how Celeste works, and like they both really complemented each other in this story because Celeste was able to make people really comfortable and shoot really nice photos and videos, whereas Gemma is also just bringing that out in people in the questions that she's asking as a journalist. They also brought up this couple, this older couple, a sapphic couple, where one of them is East Asian, for both Gemma and Celeste, in not feeling accepted by their families or their culture, at least, in being not straight. Brought up a lot of emotions for them, and I thought that was really important representation, especially in reading Lyla Lee's acknowledgements and saying how queer stories are really hard to publish, and even harder when it is by a Asian author or just a non-white person in general. I really liked that the epilogue was incredibly realistic. Sometimes I read the epilogues in romance stories and see that they are just like 6 months ahead, already engaged or married or have children or something like that, and that doesn't seem very realistic to me, so I liked the epilogue in this one especially. I do want to read something else today. I just don't have an ebook. I think maybe I'll try to find ebook forms, but I would like to read a graphic novel and just finish this out within today and tomorrow. It was perfect for him. I have been reading 49 Days by Agnes Lee, which I do have out from the library, but I was able to find it available on Libby right away. It is a graphic novel following a young girl who has passed away. Buddhism says that it takes someone 49 days after having passed away to actually cross over to death or something. My family's Buddhist, so I was raised on that, and then there's a whole ceremony that you do on the 49th day as well. There's not a lot of dialogue, but there's a lot of emotion conveyed in the drawings and the little bit of dialogue that there already is. Girl is Kit. She, what looks like, is raised by a single mother and has 2 other siblings. I think she's the oldest. It's showing her journey, but also her family like grieving throughout that time. The part that almost broke me was the mom. Her 2 siblings are going down to LA to pick up her stuff, her apartment, I think, package. They're going to just pack up her belongings. The mother couldn't really do it. And the mother's home alone with their cat, and she is in the bedroom that the son shared with the daughter who passed away, and she is reading a letter that her son has written to his sister, and it like makes her cry. I thought this was a really interesting story because I have like 100 pages left. I think it's like over 300 pages, but I'm really flying through it. When my dad passed away, obviously heartbroken, really, really sad. My mom would tell me to not cry because for the first 49 days, because during that journey, he would hear us and he would come back, or it would take him longer to cross over. And I guess in Buddhism, it would be to like reincarnate. It really made me think of that. And obviously I was like still crying a lot before the 49 days, but I've never really like heard anything about Buddhist traditions in books that I've been reading, so this is a really just a nice find. Code and I are back home, and luckily the power's like completely back on. Con Edison is still working outside, so there might be some people that are still working on their power as well, but we're completely fine, which we're really glad we missed. And we feel really lucky too, because it started to rain so much harder when we came back home already. Anyway, I did finish 49 days before I actually left Long Island, and then I picked up a new book, which was the ebook also for Names and Faces, which just came out earlier this year. Read the entirety of this, so I think I'm like pretty read out for the day because I've completed 2 graphic novels already. I'm feeling really great. This one, at least I'm giving 4 stars. I really appreciated the emotion that it was able to convey with such limited dialogue and just artistry, and it was something that I could definitely relate to. And then in terms of this one, I didn't really talk about it at all because I didn't know I would be picking her up, but I read her on the train, and this is a graphic memoir of Lyla, who is born to a Chinese mother and a white American father, raised in Michigan, Tokyo, and Virginia. And these are a series of essays talking about how different it was for her as a third culture kid and not really fitting in, not fully Chinese but not also fully white, and being able to speak multiple languages but not quite the best at any of them because of being a third culture kid. And obviously her life is very different from mine, but there are aspects of it that I could understand. So it starts out with like names. She has a fully different Chinese name and then an American name, which is very rooted in her German father's heritage. Ooh, I didn't realize the pages were like the glossy type, so I like totally missed out on that. She talked about living abroad, living in China, and being able to speak better Chinese, but now that she's not there, she isn't, and she currently lives in Sweden with her husband, and just all of the differences and feeling really lost and isolated and like in her own country almost. Now I can relate to it obviously in some aspects of not feeling like, maybe I do feel more comfortable in English in some aspects, but definitely when I go back, or I'm glad that I can speak with my family enough or watch Japanese shows with Coda and feel like I understand, maybe not quite everything, but definitely enough to be able to laugh at the jokes because I don't have to feel so alone. To me, I'm very grateful to my parents having created this Japanese community for me, and I have people that I can call cousins in New York that I can speak Japanese with, that I am confident that if I raise my children around them, they will help me in teaching my children Japanese. And living in a city like New York where my children hopefully will have access to such things, and in my work I'm able to speak Japanese to keep up with that, because I can definitely see my sister, who used to be better at Japanese than me, is really losing that because she works at a place that she only speaks English at, and the only place that she really can speak Japanese with is with my mother, who she will like maybe text with, some occasional calls. But my mom also has lived in America for so long that she obviously can understand English to the point where my sister can flip back and forth with, and that's how my sister and I speak as well. So I'm really grateful that I have, you know, also a partner who I can speak Japanese with and able to ground myself in my culture in that way. So definitely really great reading a memoir like this, and I feel like people who are also half can definitely relate to this story. I'm gonna take the AC coming back on as a sign, but yeah, I'll close the vlog out a little later. I think I'm finishing this vlog off a little bit sooner than anticipated because I've already read so much. I read Summer's Never Over by Darby Bozeman, debut novel, my July book of the month pick, or my June book of the month pick, and I gave this 2.75 stars. I read a sapphic romance by Lyla Lee, Love in Focus, which I gave 3.25 stars. And I read a graphic novel about grief, 49 Days by Agnes Lee. I gave this book 4 stars. Lastly, I read this graphic memoir by Leise called Names and Faces, which is no rating at all. And I just wanted to do like a random mood reading vlog, even though I wasn't really sure how it was going to go, which I guess is the point of it being a mood vlog. Completed 4 books. Oh, I love these types of graphic novels, sorry. The pages are so smooth and it smells so good. And now I can return 3 of these books that I've renewed a couple times to the library. And I will see you all in my next vlog that I'm currently still working on, reading nonfiction memoir. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.